Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be recording for Wuthering Waves gaming test on the Motorola Edge 2025 Mediatek Deminsity 7400 Ultra CPU that we're going to be showing a gaming test for Wuthering Waves mobile. Now, mid-range phones can run Wuthering Waves, alright? I'm showing everything right here, the battery, the RAM, the frame time, the FPS, everything. And also, look how well, look at this. The game runs pretty well. Look at this. Yes, I do understand that Wuthering Waves run is not very optimized, but it's very optimized for this device. Unfortunately, on an upper mid-range phone, that is actually able to run this game pretty easy. And look at that. You're getting 60 FPS, 69. Look at that frame rate. Let's go. Also, we have another thing here I'm going to show you. This is my gaming toolkit here that I can add and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the core, the temperature, I got the RAM is at 89%, and then I have the CPU at 64%. And the performance mode is on balance. Never put it on performance turbo. Never do that. And also, we're getting a pretty decent frame rate. Yeah, there is frame rate drops, but I'm still getting 60 FPS on this game, which is pretty insane. Now, let's go ahead and do...
Combat isn't just about strength. You need skills and wisdom too. You there? Looking to put on some training? Good training keeps you sharp.
Now, we are going to do Resonance Potion. Yeah, I guess we can do this one. Look, we get 90, 93, 90 FPS. That's pretty damn good. 100 FPS. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. Now, somebody made a video saying that mid-range phones can't run Wuthering Waves, which is false. You know, Wuthering Waves can run on mid-range phones. You just need a mid-range phone that has 8 GB of RAM or significantly a lot more. Just don't get a mid-range phone that is lower because of the RAM. Like if you get a mid-range phone that has 4 GB of RAM only, yeah, you cannot play Wuthering Waves with 4 GB of RAM. Let's be honest, you just can't. You need a lot more RAM than that. But like I said, low-end phones, you just can't play Wuthering Waves really. But on mid-range phones, you actually can. And high-end phones you can too. But you have to worry about, you know, heat dissipation. All right. So, which means overheating. You have to worry about that. But I'm currently with my phone. My phone does has heat dissipation good at a good level. We're gonna use, let's see, can we use a different, hold on, I'm gonna bring this down a bit. Yeah, we're gonna use this one right here. Yeah, frame rate drop is there, not the stuttering though. Alrighty, here we are. Great gaming test we're actually doing. Yeah, you're right. The frame rate drop is there, but I'm still getting 60 FPS. Even though there's frame rate drops, it still goes back up. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and fight. Ooh, that was 55 FPS just for that. There's a little bit of stutter, but it's not significantly the worst either. Oh, there goes 60 FPS. It was 57, 50. That's still not bad. My phone is still optimized enough to run this game. Let's see if I use the ultimate. $38 degrees Celsius. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Use this.
Hopefully this helps. You'll face judgment. Slashes. Good. In the blink of an eye.
Frame rate does fluctuate a lot, but I'm still getting 60 FPS on this game. Even though the frame rate has a lot of, frame rate drops and stuff like that. But because this game has bad optimization, that doesn't mean this game isn't runnable on a mid-range phone. Knowing that I'm still getting high frame rates, even though it's fluctuating, and even though I'm getting frame rate drops, it still goes back up to 60 FPS. So why complain and say that the game doesn't run on a mid-range phone when it actually does? The proof is right here. Fix that. Should I go one more round? Yeah, I think I should go one more round. $58, $59. That's not bad. That's pretty damn good, even though I'm getting fluctuations in frame rate drops. I'm gonna do one more round. This will be it.
Face judgment. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this helps. Slash. In the blink of an eye. Oh, this will be fun.
Let me see where the CPU, 71% on the CPU. Okay. 62 FPS. Let's go. Okay. It's trying to keep it consistent, but it's hard. But it's still showing 60 FPS on the screen, which is incredible. Saying, oh, mid-range phones can't run Wuthering Waves at 60 FPS on high settings. Well, technically, the proof is right here that I'm actually showing you. Because I'm actually running this game on max setting on this mid-range phone. Max setting, max frame rate, max graphics. And guess what? I'm still getting 60 FPS on a mid-range phone. When this match is over, I'm going to show you guys the settings where it's actually maxed, so you can actually see that I'm not lying, and stuff like that. There you go. Okay. Now that's done. Now we're going to leave. And I'm going to show you guys the settings that is maxed out on this mid-range phone. And look, 39 degrees Celsius, barely 40 degrees. Not bad. $49, $50, $50, and then sometimes it goes up to $60, which is pretty damn good. This area seems to be a little bit underwhelming, a little bit, but it's not the worst either. 52, that's not bad. 53. Alright, so let me go to settings. 60 FPS, there we go. Okay, let's see. Careful. Okay, so the graphics resolution is on high, and my frame rate is at 60 FPS. My special effects quality is on high. The FSR is on. The shadow quality is on ultra high, and LOD bias, which is level of detail bias, and then it's also on ultra high. We have anti-aliasing on, bloom on, and then crowd density is on high. I have enemy hit flash on. Auto FPS, I keep that off because I do not like that feature. I just don't know, but auto FPS is actually garbage on this game. I have damage numbers on. I have physics-based animation on. Cutscene mode full screen. Co-op teammate VFX on. And I have foliage density ultra high. Max settings. This is my phone's max settings. So everything is maxed out, and I'm still getting 60 FPS, max graphics, max frame rate, and my phone can handle this game pretty well. And now, I've heard that somebody made a video saying that mid-range phones can't play Wuthering Waves at all, which is totally false. The game can actually be played on a mid-range phone. You just need to understand how your phone actually works so you can understand what games you need to put the settings on, or how powerful. You need to understand how powerful your phone actually is. And you need to do some test results on how powerful your phone is. That will indicate to let you know what games are actually able to push your phones to its limits. You know, that's to be honest. And everything that is maxed out on this device is capped at 2.3 gigahertz, between 2.3 and 2.4 gigahertz, but my phone's CPU max frequency is 2.6 gigahertz. So even though I'm running Wuthering Waves at max settings, my CPU is not running at full power. So technically, I'm running everything maxed out in this game, and my phone can handle Wuthering Waves pretty easily. For somebody to make a video saying that Wuthering Waves cannot be run on a mid-range phone when the proof is right here. Now, before we end the video, I'm going to explore a little farther deeper in, check the map. We're just gonna go around, run around for a bit. Now, I don't want to run too fast. Yes, there is a little bit of frame time spike, just a tiny bit, but it's not the worst either. Like I said, this game is optimized enough on this device that I'm currently using pretty well. It's not even that bad. Yes, the game needs a few more updates to fix this unoptimized issues, but the game is running. I'm not saying it's not. You know, it's not even that bad. Now, can I lower the graphics? Yes, I can lower it. It will still look pretty well. It will still look pretty good. You know, 40 degrees Celsius, not bad. That is actually really good. Wow, this is pretty insane in Hong Kong. I'm gonna go up here. Let's do this. I mean, if you look at it, this is pretty well.
Wind guide me.
56, 55, not bad. It might not be at 60 FPS, but it's closer, you know? And sometimes it does reach 60 FPS. So it's like saying that this game is unrunnable is totally insane for somebody to make a false claim about mid-range phones can't run, you know, Wuthering Waves when the proof is right here. It's insane for somebody to make a video saying that stuff, you know? This is pretty good. This isn't even bad. Still getting 50 FPS is still pretty good. That's not bad at all, you know? Now, let's see if we can go to a different location. Okay, let's go to the Black Shores. No, actually no. How about let's go to Renacida instead. And we can go to Raguna, alright? If this FPS indicator drop, like if it goes off, I'll bring it back. Don't worry about it. Okay, so now this is Renacida in Raguna. We're gonna run around and see what the frame rate is. $50 FPS, not bad. This is pretty good frame rate. Okay, we're gonna run faster. 55 FPS, not bad. 50, not bad. I mean, this is not even that bad. Made it seem to be. Yes, the frame rate not showing 60, but like I said, sometimes it does go up to 60. But 50 FPS isn't bad either. It's just the 10% less of the frame rate, but yeah, it doesn't render all the frames, but hey, the game is still playable. That's what matters. The game runs pretty well on my device. Whether the frame rate is at 60 or not, the game is still runnable and still playable on a mid-range phone. And I'm using 24 gigabytes of RAM, extended RAM, that I'm actually using to actually run this game. A little bit more better, I would say. I'm going to change this, and I'm going to put this flight. Alright, so now I'm going to do this. Not bad, not bad. There we go. 54, 58. Hey, we're getting close to 60. Let's go. Very, very close to 60 FPS. So the phone is doing its best to render at max settings, but still getting 50 FPS is still pretty damn good. And then get closer to 60 is still pretty good. This isn't too bad. Yeah, there's still frame rate drops here and there. It's actually a little bit consistent, but hey, when I was doing that combat, it was getting to 60 FPS. Let me tell you that. I would say that the open world is actually the problem. Okay, frame time spike is going up a little bit, and the frame rate dropped significantly. Okay, now the frame rate's going back up. Okay, so it dropped down to 23, and then now it's going back up. Okay, so that was just a little an optimization issue that was right there. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see if I can.
Wind, guide me.
All right. Now we're going to go to a different area. So in the city, the frame rate drops consistently only because there's too much people going around, too many areas, like, you know. I guess that's just the city, I guess. But I'm out in the opening, so let's see. We're getting 50 FPS and then frame FPS drops. Yeah, Kuru games probably need to work on more optimization in the CPU aspect here on frame rate that they really need to work on. But hey, the game is still playable. That's what matters most. Like I said, this isn't the worst either. There's phones that can't even run this game at all. $40°C that my phone is still sitting at. The temperature is not even rising. Interesting. I know that I've seen some people who make gaming test videos on their phones that their battery temperature rises higher than 40 degrees. Some go up to 45, some go up to like 47. But mine is not even going up. Mine is stuck at 40°C and it's not even going up, which is incredible. Battery consumption is very good on this game. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Now I'm gonna go up. Okay. Now we're in this area.
Leave it to me.
56 FPS, 53. Okay, not too bad. We could check the combat in the open world, see where the frame rate drops to. So the combat increases higher frame rate, which is the opposite. Interesting. Wow. 56 FPS. Now it dropped down. Ooh, 60 FPS there. So the combat in the open world is not even that bad. I'm gonna use this. 60 FPS. There we go. Okay, not bad. Combat is not even that bad like people assume to be. Somebody kept saying that during combat that the frame rate drops. Well, yes, but it's not even that bad. Like, it goes back up. And I was getting 60 FPS during combat, which is insane. And this is just in Raguna City, like in Renacida. $53, okay, not bad. $40°C, still stuck at that.
Leave it to me.
I'll be back. I'm gonna run to the library so I can make these copies for tomorrow. Because I gotta go file this paperwork in the morning. So I'm off work tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to we're gonna go to Star Torch Academy, and we're gonna go here. 60 FPS. Oh wow. Yep, my RAM increased to 90% of the RAM, which is pretty good. And now it's dropping a little bit, but okay. 40°C is still there. Okay, so now we in Star Torch Academy. Okay, frame time spike it just a little bit. Checking the area. Oh, let me put the bike. Here it is, smaller bike. 45 FPS, not too bad. Not the worst, but yeah, it seems that this map here is a little bit more worse here on this map. Let's go ahead and use the bike. Okay. This is the raceway, huh? Yeah. Oh, frame rate's going back up. Okay, a little bit. Yeah, now it's going back up. It's fluctuating a lot between frame rate dropping and going back up, which is very good. It's doing that. It's trying its hardest. Alright. Okay, we're still getting frame rate dips a bit. Yeah. The temperature is still not rising though. Oh, my RAM increased 95%. Almost 100% of the RAM. Pretty damn good. It may seem like it's a lot, but, you know. Frame rate is still pretty low. So it seems that the frame rate is worse in open world than it is closer. And then sometimes it gets closer in with a lot of people. Huh. Not very good in the open world aspect, but during combat, it's very, very good in combat. But let's just say if I lowered my graphics, right? If I put it on just high, maybe I'll get more frame rate. That could be what it is, because probably it's because it's my max frame rate and max GPU power, you know, max settings on Wuthering Waves. That could be why my frame rate could be really low. But if I lower it and put it all on high, it'll probably increase my frame rate. But this is just max settings, though, that I'm actually getting. This game looks absolutely really good, though. Yeah, the frame time spike is not even that bad like it is, like people think it is. It's not even that bad. Like, you can still run the game. But your frame rate will be lower, which is understandable. Let's see here. I'm going to lower my graphical settings a bit down here. I'm going to put this on high, and put that one lower. And apply and leave. Maybe get better frame rate. Oh, it did increase up a little bit better. Frame time spike a little bit. $52, okay, not bad. Okay, so I'm going to change. I'm going to put everything back where they were. All right. Yeah, changing the settings did not fix anything as much. Yeah, so this is basically an optimization issue with frame rate drops and stuttering. But like I said, the frame rate drops is worse, but it's a little bit worse. But the frame time spikes, which is the stuttering, is not as prevalent as it seems to be. Like, the stuttering is not even that bad. But wait, let's see what happens if I put it on. Ooh, wow, 90% of the RAM is insane. 80% of the CPU performance, almost close to 100. It's on balance mode, performance mode, balanced, and then turbo. What happens if I put it on turbo? Okay, it did increase a little bit better, but I don't recommend putting it on turbo. Okay, so we're in Star Torch Academy. I'm gonna run around a little bit in this area. 60 FPS. Okay. 60 FPS. 60 FPS again. Okay. Okay, frame rate drop there.
Take it easy.
So in the open world, there's frame rate drops consistently, but when you enter Star Torch Academy, it's not even that bad. But it does have a little bit of frame time spike, yeah. That's true. But the game is still playable. Who said this game isn't playable just because, you know, there's stuttering? But it's not as prevalent. Like, it's not even that bad.
Wind, guide me.
65 FPS, 60, 54, 858. Okay, not bad. Okay, the stuttering has completely stopped, really, for now. And my phone is still stuck at 40 degrees Celsius. Now, it says 72 degrees, but this core is not actually accurate. This one battery temperature right here, Celsius, is actually at 40 degrees Celsius, not at actually 72. Wow. 55 FPS, not bad. That's not bad frame rate. It's not even frame time. Okay, so stuttering. Yeah, see, the stuttering is not as prevalent as it seems to be on a mid-range phone. Huh, interesting. 60, 70, almost 70 FPS. That's insane. Okay, there was a stutter there, but now, okay, so now stuttering's gone. Okay, I'm gonna run. Okay, no stuttering. Okay. Frame rate is still pretty high. Now, CPU at 82%. Let's put it back on balance. Okay, I'm still getting, okay. 68 FPS, okay. Okay, so it's down. Okay, so on balance mode, on performance mode balance, it actually lowers the frame rate. So if I put on turbo, my frame rate will increase. No, okay, so that's why the frame rate is actually lower. It's my balance mode. Huh, interesting. But sometimes I can still get 60 FPS on balance mode, which is still incredible. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna end the video here.
What were you screaming back
See you guys in the next video.
The monster was so loud. I couldn't
Peace.
sing.